I think this is goodbye. Those of you that have been cursed with traveling close to me at all know that I've said that before. Since New Year's, twice, maybe not so succinctly. After my first major hunger strike, I was nursed back from death's door by a family to whom I'll always be grateful, and worked in their business for a while. Our major product was very expensive, very comfortable mattresses, and they had a trial period associated with them. And we got some scammers, we got some addle-headed people, but we also got some really sincere people. It was a different type of mattress. And they'd come in the store and we'd allow them to lie on the mattresses for as long as they want. They could bring a book, they could take a nap. And we'd have some customers that, wanting to be tremendously conscientious, would do this any number of times, coming in and trying the mattress. They could just do our trial period, but they knew there was major cost to us involved in that. Yeah. About 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And they'd often eventually buy the mattress, and 9 out of 10 times it would stick. But 1 out of 10 times, I'm sorry, it's not working, friends. My point is that we try things, don't we? Tom Peters, in his brilliant study of successful individuals, successful organizations, ready, fire, aim. They're neither reckless, nor do they allow themselves to get paralyzed by analysis, and that describes me for my adulthood. Ready, fire, aim. At Christmas time, and then about 6 weeks ago, I was at what I thought was points of clarity that enabled me to escalate my attempts to be a spark that might cause the fire to avert Armageddon for the next 50 generations. Unstoppable. Unthinkable. One I remember, the one at Christmas time, after Christmas, New Year's, I think. I had just finished hunger strike, was off several days, and then realized, no, you need to go back on without water. And the clarity I had that caused me to stop the hunger strike at 50 days, as I recall, was there's no hope for humanity no matter what you do. And that made sense. But several days later, it didn't make sense. But if you do nothing, there's no hope at all. So I went back on. I think it only lasted a day or two. That's the first time that my body went into major spasms at night due to what I'm guessing is kidney damage from the hunger strike. And that distracted me, and it shook me up. And it made me think that that wasn't a good enough reason, that it gave some hope. There are other ways I can serve for the next 30, 40 years if I were given that. About a month later, clarity came to me, which seemed like a significant advance, and it was a significant advance. Bear in mind, I've been studying unviolent warriors and unviolent warring my entire life. King, Gandhi, everything they have to say, everything they've read many times, and all the others, Dave Dellinger, the writings of Zinn, Howard Zinn, etc., etc., etc. It's been a lifelong study and practice, so I'm not new at this. But I've believed they weren't at the end of their thinking. I wasn't at the end of the thinking and needed to keep trying because we weren't there yet. We didn't have the powerful enough ideas. Good morning, sister. I'll be taking it in a couple of minutes. I'm just doing a... Okay. Yeah. Is 5 minutes okay? So in, I don't know, end of January, early February, a clarity came to me that called to me as a powerful new platform from which to escalate, and it was the notion that just folks dying for it bring change. And that's true. I think of few, if any, exceptions in unviolent warring that has taken place that's been recorded. Where that wasn't true, and that was a distillation that I could stand on, and did for 3 days in front of the White House. The morning of the third day, I forget who and why, but I said, you know, this is the end for me. And that night, oh, you got it, honey. That night, I went and took calories. I don't remember the specifics. I remember I did not experience that I was caving, that I was trying to dodge the bullet. No, I realized this is a stronger platform than I've stood on before, but it's not strong enough for it to be the end of your life. More particularly, it's not as strong as continuing to fight in other ways, which I've done since and had done before. And I was right. What I've done the last couple of months in reformulating the sLoving site so it's infinitely more accessible for what I've learned in how to war unviolently, and creating a new site, Tracking Plan B, which fills a criminal void. Criminal void. How was World War II going to be won without a plan that was constantly updated? How are you going to get to the airport on time for your flight without a plan to do so? How are you going to pass your final exams without a plan to do so? Everything that we value has a plan. And if we're intelligent, it's constantly updated. There's no plan. There was a plan B 3.0 and then 4.0, which was not updated. And just one guy goes around talking about, I'm not diminishing the plan, but there's no plan that the supposedly serious activists are using. And it's not by chance. When there's a plan that really pulls everything together, it grabs you, it changes your life. Your life is no longer under your control, and no one's reached that point. So I was right in the last time that no, you're not to go forward. Who knows this time? But the last couple of days, an evolution of those two prior ideas has hit me, and it just seems like I'm finally home. They won't stop. We won't stop. CO2. Till enough folks are dying for it. It's so close to where I've been before, but it's so far ahead of where I've been before. They won't stop. We won't stop CO2 till we see enough folks dying for it. Watch Freedom Riders. Watch it. Oh my God, what a treat. What a privilege, what a window. Watch the representative of the Kennedys. I forget his name, but he's prominent in the movie, much of which is original footage, all of which is the original players. The bus has been bombed, it's been mobbed, they've been beaten within an inch of their life, some of them in a white waiting room. They're now sequestered at an airport. Alabama, I think, they can't get a flight out for all the racist reasons. And Kennedy has a senior representative down there. And he recounts talking to Diane Nash, who led the second wave down. They were unwilling to have the Freedom Ride terminate with these folks being held hostage in an airport. So they skipped their next day final exams and got on a bus. And this senior political operative of the Kennedys got her on the phone before they left. Ms. Nash, he was down there, by the way. He had been beaten, too. Ms. Nash, think what you're doing. You are leading these people to their death. Someone's going to get killed. And she allowed a silence, and she said, "Sir, you need to understand, we all signed our death certificates last night, our last will and testament last night. Watch it. You can see what happens psychologically." The Kennedys got word of this, and it was like, holy shit. People are willing to die for this? You can see the shock. You can understand the shock. Yes, that's how it works. We insane alcoholics, we are not going to stop without a shock. There are two types of shock in history. I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to let your behavior kill me. I'm going to die to stop you. And that's actually what soldiers and policemen do. They don't take the job to kill. They take the job ready to die to save others. I've understood all that. But I didn't see the clarity. We'll stop CO2 when we see folks dying for it. I think I'm going to be one of those folks. How's this going to play out? I don't know. I'm in D.C. By tomorrow, I expect to be in front of the Canadian Embassy. I think I got really good news last night in speaking to some of those godly Secret Service officers, a bunch of young guys. Came across them and, hey, have you guys done Embassy Road duty? Yeah, I have. I never asked, I said, when I was doing the 45-day hunger strike in front of the Sudanese embassy 24 hours a day, I never thought to ask if I could have laid down. He said, "Oh, sure, you can lay down on the streets in D.C., on the sidewalks, as long as you don't block anyone, because I don't have the strength anymore to sleep upright on hunger strike or otherwise. My body is just trashed." I expect that tomorrow morning I will arrive in front of the Canadian embassy, and until, against my will, they cart me away, which could be immediately, it could be after weeks, I don't know, it's not my responsibility. I'll have a do not resuscitate paperwork and a medallion around my neck. We will not stop CO2 until we see people dying to make it stop. That's clear, folks. Look at all the stuff on my sites. Look at the videos. This has been going on year after year after year. This is not new information. There is every indication we are going to talk this to death. Our children's death, our grandchildren's death, the ones that survive, folks, of your great-grandchildren are going to wonder if they're the lucky ones. This is totally unacceptable. I was going to spend this summer really wrestling to the ground where we are vis-a-vis all 4 killing meteors that you'll see on tracking Plan B and in Plan B itself. Earth-killing meteors. If any one of them hits, it's hell for our progeny. No, I realized last night, James Hansen in his recent talks, most significant talk was the TED talk on YouTube and in my library. He's very clear, and this guy has earned my trust. We need to start reducing carbon 6% this year, 2012, 6% per year, and that will be achieved if we add a 10, and I'm going to say $10 to $20 per year per ton, affix the wreckage fee that it currently is being sent to our children. 80% of our energy bill is being sent to our children. For every kilowatt of electricity you use, for every gallon of gas that you use, 80% of your bill is being sent to your children. Why don't you start doing that with your meals out and your mortgage? That's a good one. You just pay 20% of your mortgage and you send 80% of it on to your kids. Isn't that a good idea? That's what you're doing with your energy price. While grid parity, wind and sun are sitting there for you to use, but you're too goddamn involved with your day-to-day shit to stand up and say no. And you're not going to till you see enough folks dying for it. That sets the price. I haven't doubted for years that this was worth my life. I just couldn't see how to do it. I think I see it now. How will it play out? I don't expect they'll let me die despite the do not resuscitate. I expect that they'll put me on some sort of force feeding. That's not my business. But starting this morning, I am dead to the world. There may be a few exceptions out of love and respect. When I see the Secret Service in front of the embassy tomorrow, I'll give them one explanation. I expect to have a write-up by me that I can hand people without making eye contact. I'll be purchasing a Bible today. And that is my new kingdom. That is where I will seek to maintain strength and sanity as this plays out. I'll be surprised if by the end of this I'm not committed, but I'll be dead there. I will be dead to the world. I will remain dead to the world, I expect. Or maybe I'll find this idea isn't as strong as I think it is, but I think I'm home. I think it's there. And anyone that wakes up and realizes that they want a future for all humanity, this is not my key, friends. This is our key. We will not stop CO2 till we see folks dying for it. We won't buy an expensive car until we see someone else paying an ungodly price for it. We won't use a new program. We won't do this. We won't do that. We won't head out west to California until we see some early pioneers paying an ungodly price for it. That's not new to me. But having this clarity, we won't stop. We will stop when we see enough folks dying for it. So I think this is goodbye. I'll be dispensing all of my property today, including the computers. A few of you will receive emails on that. Those to whom I'm emailing this video, I love you all. You know that.